7,678, 7,679, 10,000. Today we're looking at 3 active seating chairs. This is the QOR360 developed by a doctor. This is the All33 chair, which was actually pitched on Shark Tank.
It is moving all 33 of your vertebrae while you're sitting, and there's nothing else in the world that is doing it.
I'm very skeptical about all these claims on chairs because I've tried so many. And I also have tried different devices that way back. This thing actually is working.
I like to call this the celebrity chair because it was endorsed by people like Elon Musk, Justin Bieber, Tom Hanks, amongst others. And then over here we have the HÅG Chair by Capisco. It's spelled HAG, pronounced HOG because it's Danish. And fun fact, on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, this is Joe Rogan's chair of choice, and it was shown on shows like Star Trek. Huge shout out to Best of Channel and Nick Schaefer for those fun facts. Let's get honest. Active seating chairs are going to encourage subconscious movement throughout the day. And unlike most chairs where you sit on it and then it just basically does all the work for you, an active seating chair can encourage the use of various muscles like your legs, your core, your hips, and your back. There is one, I think, universal truth when it comes to active seating chairs, which is guaranteed you will stay more awake throughout the day. Everything else after that, such as comfort, is 100% subjective. Let's start with the smallest chair and then move our way up to the biggest, starting with the QOR360. The QOR360 is my personal favorite active seating chair out of these 3, which is really funny because look at the box that it came in. Look how tiny this thing is, especially for a chair, especially for the chairs that I test most often. This thing is smaller than the All33 chair. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to sit on whatever's inside of that box for more than an hour. Well, it turns out that I can sit on this longer than I can sit in the other 2, about 4-ish hours. Now, if you think that sounds a little bit low, to be fair, an active seating chair was not designed for you to be able to sit in for 8+ hours at a day. It's supposed to encourage you to get up, to move around, to get that blood and everything flowing. This is the red vegan leather version, and I showed you a little bit before, but what makes it unique is that this chair pivots in every single direction. And it's not just a tiny pivot, you get a huge range of motion. And I love it because I'm able to pivot this way and turn my body the other way and get a huge stretch out of my back muscles. I can go forward and kind of do the same thing. I can pull back and do the same thing. And because it pivots forward, I can plant my feet straight into the ground. And this encourages me to have a good posture throughout the day, a better posture than I do on any of my passive chairs, because eventually on those passive chairs, I'll eventually kind of hunch like this, or I'll end up just kind of scooching back and relaxing like that. This pivoting motion feels so natural that I'm able to do it while doing the things I normally do. For example, I'm able to type whatever I need to type. I can play games while pivoting. It doesn't feel like I'm being sucked or pulled out of the moment in order to be active. And I'm also a fidgeter, so this is a godsend. If you're like me, you might be a little bit worried about the build quality. Can something like this really hold my weight up without breaking? Well, I'm not a light guy, I'm about 175 pounds, so I decided to do things like this and try to do like leg curls and try to really rock inside the chair. I'm surprised. There is no squeaking, no creaking whatsoever. It is really well built. One of the downsides of this chair is that sometimes you don't want to be in this active seating position all day. Sometimes you just want to relax and go back into like a regular position, but you can't really do that in this chair. It's either you sit actively or bust. The other con is that this pad here is about like a medium softness, but it's not that thick, so it does bottom out and you do feel the bottom on your bottom. It's not that huge of a deal because you can pivot, you can take the pressure off of your butt, but also the other reason why it's not that big of a deal is because this is a really nice companion to a standing desk because it is extremely light. And so you can just kind of move this out of the way and stand up on a standing desk and work like that until you're ready to sit back down again, at which point you can hop onto this thing. Other than the pivot, the only other feature this chair offers is the ability to go up and down. And the way you measure for this, because it comes in 2 different sizes, is you measure from the whatever footwear you're gonna wear, from the floor to the top of your knee. If it's above 22 inches, you'll get the taller version. If it's shorter than 22 inches like me, then you'll get the shorter version. If you're interested in picking this up, you can use my code HONESTLY for 5% off. Subscribe to this channel, or else. You might miss out on how to make your work or home office a better place to work. That was pretty lame. Please subscribe though. I already did a full dedicated review of the Capisco HÅG Chair, so I'm just gonna go over its pros and cons. The pros are that you get more freedom to sit in this chair however you want, more than any other chair in existence, and I don't say that lightly. You can also easily switch from an active seating position to a more lean back, passive, relaxed posture. The unique back design on this can actually massage your spine back muscles, which feels really good, and the legs are perfect for you fidgeters who like to spin or rotate back and forth in your chair. This chair has a premium build quality and a very very premium European mechanism under the chair. You can raise the back height for more support, or if you're taller, you can unlock the chair to lean back. It's got a very nice lean back tension knob, which loosens and tightens just after a few turns. You can move the seat pan or slide it forward and back, and you can raise the height of the chair up and down. The HÅG Chair makes a perfect companion to standing desks because it's super light. You can even get a stool version if you like to sit higher up. There are two cons that I can see. One is that it is pricey, and two, the seat pad is on the firmer side. The All33 chair is like a chair within a chair. So you got the big mainframe chair here, and then you've got the little mini chair inside. And what makes it unique is that this little chair pivots, and you can do this in a more focused motion. So you grip on for dear life, and you can do like crunches in the chair. It works better if I lock the back. You can do like crunches inside of the chair, or you can do a much more casual while you're sitting and kind of lift your feet like this. It's the same motion as if you were, what is this, shaking your foot? It's like that, except you can, if you do it with both feet and you let off pressure on the front seat will come with you, kind of engaging that core a little bit. The nice thing about the All33 chair is that it looks the most out of these three like a normal chair, kind of. And because of that, it's gonna offer you the best hybrid experience where you can go into like a more relaxed, comfortable seating position. But there are some things you need to keep in mind. One is that this little bottom mini seat tilt does not lock. So as soon as you let go of pressure on the front of the chair, it's going to immediately tilt up. The other thing is that this lumbar does move with the pivot, which is really nice, so it's not slamming into your back, but it is a very aggressive lumbar pad. I personally like aggressive lumbar pads, but you may not, and after a long time, it can get a little uncomfortable. Now the seat is like a medium soft pad, and I'm happy to report that it never bottomed out, so you're not gonna have to worry about that issue. Other things that it can do is that the arms can actually swivel totally up. So if you wanna play guitar, if you like to slide into a desk that's a little bit lower, you're not gonna have to get those arms won't get in the way. And what's unique is that about halfway down, you see how it's really loose here? But when you go about halfway, it gets really taut. And so you can actually use the arms in a more raised position if you'd like, or you can push them all the way down. You see there's a lot more tension here. The bottom under the chair mechanism is not great. This is like the same mechanism you'd find on like a $100 chair. The turn knob is really hard to reach, and it's very hard to turn. And when you turn it a few times, you don't feel that much of a difference. So you do have to turn it quite a bit in order to feel a difference. And then the only other thing you can do is lock or unlock the back tilt, and you cannot lock the tilt in a tilted mode. I can't lock the chair in this position. It's only flat on the ground or open and lean back. When I first got this chair, it made this awful squeak, but I'm happy to report that that squeak is gone. The All33 chair is the biggest chair that I own. I don't mean in terms of height, but in terms of width. It's even bigger than some of my XL gaming chairs over there. It is huge, and so it's not gonna be great for small offices, and it's not gonna be a great companion for standing desks because it is big, it is bulky, and it's a little bit difficult to get out of the way. Unfortunately, I do not believe that this chair is worth the price. If it were like $300 cheaper, I would say, oh, that's not bad, but the build quality just isn't great. I already kind of talked about how the under chair mechanism is like, it looks like a $100 chair mechanism with just a back tilt and a super difficult to turn knob. But on top of that, the arms, I believe I can feel and I believe I can see that they are uneven. So like the build quality on this thing just isn't great as well. I do have to give them credit though. They didn't just take a Chinese chair, rebrand it, and then try to sell it at an exorbitant price. So I respect that they tried doing something unique and tried giving people an alternative to a passive seating chair. So props to them for that. Stay honest and get subscribed for more chair and home office ideas. Bye.